Good morning. Good morning. Welcome, welcome, you guys. Oh, you know what? I forgot to do my phone so that I can go live on TikTok. All the places, you guys. I'm trying to maximize my efforts. If you guys would do me a favor and just pop on, say hi, let me know where you are joining from. That would be awesome. Oh, Lord. I only have about that first thing in the morning. Okay. Um, go live. Good morning. Good morning. And I have one person. Good morning. Thank you for joining me this morning. So, you guys, all through the week, we are meeting every day at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for it's supposed to be a quick craft with Royce, but they have not been quick. They've not been quick. But we have done projects like from start to finish. Although there are small details that either the products are still wet and we can't address them, or maybe like this clipboard, for instance, is one of the things. We finished the front of it, right? It's done, but we didn't finish the back. So today I am going to be doing some finishing work for the projects that we've started. And I'm also going to be monitoring comments. Good morning, Beth. Hey, Flea. Hey, Allie. And so if you guys have questions today about either a craft we did or even something completely off topic or about decoupage, whatever, you can ask me. Do not ask me the difference between milk paint and chalk style paint yet because I don't know the answer, but I will have the answer soon. Hey, Tracy. Good morning. Good morning. Beth, hey, Royce, trying to find a. Oh, you know what? Beth, I'm going to put up a picture right now to my Amazon shop. Well, let me see. Where are you at, Beth? You're on Facebook, aren't you? It's in my Amazon shop. I will post, Beth, I'll circle back to your comments and I'll leave the link later. I think I answered you earlier this week though with the link to my Amazon shop. And if you go in my favorite things, you have to scroll through, but it's there. But I'll put the link up for you again after we're done being live today. Oh, I'm sorry you're sick. I hope it's like a head cold or something and not something serious. Crafting by Tracy Lynn. This is your first time watching. Girl, we're a hot mess here. I'm just letting you know. Letting you know from the beginning. But welcome. And for those of you who are new, my name is Royce Hunt Bell. I'm the founder, owner, and operator of Roycycled Treasures. And with Roycycled Treasures, we empower people to create through quality craft supplies, instruction, inspiration, and encouragement. And so I encourage you guys to come and hang out with us. We have decoupage paper and stencils for craft supplies. You can head to roycycledacademy.com to find courses that I offer. And I also have a membership group where we experiment often and learn always. Let's see. Good morning. Oh, you guys have to be so far away. And I am, I have a 55-year-old, although I'm going to be 56, you guys, in a couple of days. 55-year-old's eyeball, so I can't always see that. Hey, Jody, how are you this morning? Big meat. Oh, I like that. Okay, so I'm gonna for you guys, I'm going to switch our cameras around, but I will be switching around. Oh, okay, Beth, that's good. I'll put a link on your comment later, like when the live is over. I'll come back to your comment because you're on Facebook, and I'll reply and I'll leave you a link to my Amazon shop. Okay. I'm not seeing anything from YouTube. I hope I'm streaming right. Um, I hope I'm streaming over there. Oh well, it is what it is, right? We're gonna go. So I'm gonna switch my camera so we can get to work. Good morning, Martha. How are you? And if there's anything that I've done, because I've done a lot of questionable things this week. If there's anything I've done and you have questions about it, you guys, TikTok can see my messy floor over here. They see all the business because of the way the camera is. Then you can ask me. And I'll try to answer the best I can. Good morning, Carla. Oh, thank you, Flea. Thank you, thank you. So it's I shared a picture of this specific clipboard, and a lot of the comments I got was like, "Oh, that's beautiful. Where can we get that paper?" And I want you to just recall, or maybe you weren't here. You guys, this is so this piece right here I cut out from the paintable floral decoupage paper. We use the Roycycled Highland stencil on the back, that script that's peeking through. This is a piece of a transfer that I added right here. I think that's all that we did. Oh, and there's a little piece of transfer here. And I did go in and I put in some marks with another transfer. So basically, this is a mixed media piece. We just did it on a clipboard. And so oh yeah, and I even have some of my tape here. I had my retreat last year and everyone had their own gel plates. And so you guys can imagine I had 50 gel plates last year, 53 gel plates to clean. And my favorite way to do it is with tape. You just like stick the tape on there and snatch it off, and you end up with this yummy, grungy bits. And so I did add some of that tape on here as well. So this was a mixed media piece that we all did together. But like this is a super cute clipboard, but then the back is like meh, meh, meh. So we're gonna decoupage the back really quickly today. And I'm hoping we can get we have 3 clipboards we did together last week. I'd like to get all those decoupaged. And last night we started a project together and we didn't quite finish. So I'm hoping we can finish that. And I'm thinking that's probably going to be more than enough for our time that we have together today. Thank you guys so much for double checking for me. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Or if you guys want to chit chat, we can do that too. So normally when I come on to my daily lives, I'm not really monitoring the comments except for Mondays. Mondays are catch up day, like catch up on our projects and our details, but also like catch up too. And if you guys like crafting and chatting, my husband and I are live on Sunday nights at 5 p.m. Pacific time as well. I'm trying to decide what kind of paper I want to put on the back of this. I think that I want to, what do I want to do? I used some water soluble crayons on the front to get this really soft, kind of a foam green color. And I did not bring them out. That's something out of my studio. So I won't be able to match this color. So I feel like the best thing to do is going to be to have like no color, right? So let me find something that's like just black and white. Look at this piece. Oh, it is going to be big enough. So I think this would be perfect for the back of this, right? And this is just a piece of paper. If you are new to Roycycled, our papers are 21 inches by 29 inches, and it's a tissue, but it's like a heavier tissue, perfect for decoupage. And this is just a leftover piece from another project. I always get like extra joy when I'm able to use one of these leftovers on a project, because we don't waste anything around here. Ooh, I like those numbers. Let's get those on there. Okay. So I'm going to run my finger along the edge of this clipboard so I know where I need to trim. I don't like having a lot of extra paper because it can, you're just more likely to get wrinkles trying to deal with the extra paper. And when the extra paper dries, it actually pulls on the paper that's adhered and it can lift up your edges. It's not like a done deal. I'm not going to ruin it, but it just makes extra work. Why? Let's see, Royce, where do I load up my clipboard? Where do I upload my clipboard examples using your paper so you can see? Ooh, Doris, you can either do it. So on my YouTube channel, if you go to the Roycycled YouTube channel, you'll see a button that says community. If you click that, it'll take you to like a feed and you can upload your clipboards there and leave a comment. Or if you're in my Facebook group, Roycycled Upcycling with Decoupage, you can show it there. So either place is good. But yes, I would love if anyone has done anything inspired by what we've done together, like whenever, but the last few weeks, that would be so awesome. I would love that. The only thing that brings me more joy than teaching is when you guys share what you've learned. So thank you. I would love, love, love to see those clipboards. Lee says she's decoupaging all the things at church, the clipboards, and now the cash boxes too. So I've trimmed this down so I don't have a bunch of paper. You guys saw I was being lazy last night and I didn't trim my paper, and how when it was drying, that paper was pulling the adhered paper off of the corners. And I was able to tack it back down, but it's just extra work for a while. Hello, Missy. How are you? So I'm going to spritz my paper. And this paper, oh man, my spritzer is not spritzing very well. I probably need to like, oh man. I hate when you guys, so I know that there are many people who've thrown away their misting spray guns. Don't throw them away, because I'm going to tell you what's happening. We have really hard water, although I think I dropped this one. We have really hard water here. I live in a rural community. And what happens over time is those calcified minerals will get on your inside of your workings, and they can cause your mister to like start misbehaving. Don't throw it away. Like take it and just soak it. Like take just the top part and soak it in some vinegar. Or if you don't like this, if you don't like the smell of vinegar, you can like take some lemon peels and boil it and then soak it in that after it's cooled off, please. And what it'll do is it'll dissolve those minerals, and your misting spray gun will work like as good as new. Honest. Scouts honor. That's gonna be a pain because I have a lot of decoupage to do today. What does my mister decide to stop working right now? It was working fine last night. So I'm gonna do like a little starter row here, just so I can make sure the orientation of my paper is correct. And if you're someone who's new to decoupage, you'll probably enjoy today because we're gonna be doing super simple decoupage projects. Because the backs of these, we're literally just gonna decoupage. I'm gonna try not to do anything. We'll see what happens. You guys know how I am. I see opportunity and I just have to exploit it. I just cannot help myself. Creative opportunities. So I'm just gonna put that down. But misting my paper really does the fibers in the paper relax ahead of time so they don't respond when it comes into contact with my decoupage medium, which means I do not get wrinkles. I get a nice smooth decoupage application. And so I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of this. And since I'm using the misting method, I can do all of this at once. But you don't have to. You can do it a little bit at a time if that's more comfortable for you. And honestly, once you learn how to decoupage, you'll find that you're like less careful. I don't know. I do think it's good to go through all the steps when you're learning so that you like get a clear understanding of how it works and what to expect. But after a little while, you guys, we're not careful anymore. After you've decoupaged for a little bit, I mean, you are careful, but like not as careful. So usually when I'm demoing for you guys, I'm behaving. But if you saw me in here when I'm working on the stuff, I'm a little bit more haphazard. So I don't want you to think that you have to like, decoupaging is always going to be so um like, I don't know, careful and cautious and all the things. Once you learn, then you'll know what rules to break and you'll come up with your own systems to approach your projects. So I'm going to seal this. This paper right here, the one that I'm decoupaging on here, it's called Topography Love. And I created this paper selfishly because I wanted to have um, access to ephemera, like just complete black and white ephemera, because you can always, add to it, right? To make it warmer or add color or whatever. And I wanted it to be scaled to size. So like this would be, you know, um, the front of an actual book, You know what I mean? And so I find that I pull out this paper a lot, especially like in when I'm doing like my classical art pieces and I'm collaging and I want to have typography. This has become my go-to. So when I went to the warehouse yesterday, I snagged a 5-pack. Don't tell anybody. Hey, Chris. Chris says she uses CLR on her misting bottle for lime and rust to dissolve all the gunk. Yeah, that's a good idea too, Chris. So yes, I know I'm always going the I don't know. It's my grandmother's fault the way that I am. I have all of these like not homeopathic, but like you guys know what I'm saying. All these homespun things that I do, and it's because I spent so much time with my grandmother, I think. I'm snipping these corners because as they dry, they're kind of pulling on my paper and I don't like it. I want my corners to lay down. So that snip just helps alleviate some of the tension that's created by this paper drying. So I could have trimmed it closer, but I guess I didn't trim it. I left a lot of paper on this side. So, I'm going to leave that so I can show you guys what I'm talking about. I am going to go through the pain for you guys. Good morning, Tina. So we are live today, you guys. We're finishing up projects that we started, or that we finished the projects, but you guys know what I mean. There are like finishings that I think a lot of times when you guys are watching live videos, a lot of us don't get to that part because our projects may be too wet. Usually we're pushing our products to the max anyways, trying to do everything in one sitting. Or because we ran out of time. So we're going to circle back and do them together. So I am decoupaging the back of this clipboard that we did before last, but we didn't get to this last week on our last Monday. And I don't normally monitor questions or monitor comments when I do my quick crafts in the mornings. So this morning, though, since we're just kind of doing some extra stuff, I figured I would. And if you guys have any questions, you can drop them in the comments and I will answer them. Can you tell us the name of the paper again? Karen, this is the Typography Love decoupage paper. And I love the Typography Love decoupage paper. There's typography, there's script, there's music notes, there's like science notes, I mean, this is just a little piece, right? There's a little there's so much yumminess on this paper. I just love it so much. And there's different scales. So some of the writing will be smaller. Some of it's kind of, like this one is heavier, right, than the smaller or than the script. So I was very intentional when I was building this that it could be like a pantry piece, a state, you know what I'm saying, that you would have in your stash and you could use it over and over again for different projects. Yes, thank y'all. Typography love. And I really do love it. And because of the white background, it offers so many opportunities. Because just think, I could have done like a really pretty stencil and then decoupage this over the top, and you would be able to see that stencil through the paper. And so tomorrow, I'm excited for tomorrow's live because I went on I'm gonna go back to the video. Somebody asked in one of the videos when I was using the paintable floral if you could paint the paper first and then decoupage it. And of course, that sent me on a whole like my mind wouldn't rest until I found a definitive answer because no wasn't a definitive answer, right? But it's like, but if I could do it, how would I do it? And my mind is crazy. It does not let things go. So we are actually experimenting inside of the membership, actually using this mat right here. And I am going to use like some of the things that we've been experimenting with to paint the paper. So that's what we're going to be doing tomorrow. So we'll be able to paint the paper first, and then you could collage it or decoupage it um, to any project that you want. So I'm just using the sanding block You guys usually see my finger sander, which I have here sometimes. Most of my sanding, though, has some kind of substance to it, so it's easy for my hands to hold on to it. Like sanding paper is really tough for me. My hands are just trash. No, it's kidding. My hands hurt sometimes. Sometimes my joints decide that they don't want to work properly, you know. So having my sanding stuff have like substance makes it a lot easier for me. Hey Dee, how are you? Dee is joining us from Ohio. We are in the warehouse. I'm early today because when I get done with you guys, I have to head out to my warehouse where we are getting orders out to our retailers with the new recycled designs. So make sure and tune in next Sunday because we'll be doing the reveal of the new designs. Although my recycled besties who are in my membership have already seen them. But you guys have to still act excited, okay? It's like when you ruin someone's surprise, but you still have to act like you're surprised. You guys know. And if you're a recycled insider, you'll get an email with a sneak peek of designs. I'm thinking Friday. I can't decide if I'm gonna do it Friday or Saturday, but one of those 2 days. You'll get an email with a sneak peek. And you guys will notice I'm going down even when it's not convenient because I don't want to accidentally pull my paper off the board just in case something isn't tacked down well. If I go side to side, I could pull it and then it ends up tearing and I don't like it. So I'm going to have to be patient with this edge. Excuse me. And my numbers made it on. I was going through some of my ephemera the other night because I'm such a dork. I scored these gorgeous, what do you guys call them? Ledgers. And I've been using them all willy nilly, but now, I mean, it still has half pages left, but I need some more ledgers. And I just know somewhere someone's throwing a whole bunch of ledgers in the garbage cans. Blasphemy. Anyways, so I was going through looking at all my ledgers to see what I actually had, but I do need to find some more. I shouldn't have sold you guys my ledgers on Whatnot. That's what happened. Hey, Kay, how are you this morning? I just finished watching Chattin with Royce and David from last night. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry you had to go through that. No, I'm kidding. It was fun. I am going to hopefully, so my plan, guys, is starting next month. I'll be uploading like an edited video um every week. But honestly, they're gonna be like replays from past lives, but they'll be edited. So it'll be like 20 minutes instead of an hour and a half. So it'll be easier to kind of go back. Sometimes you want to go back and rewatch something, but you may not have like a lot of time, right? So this way, you'll be able to do that without having to allocate so much time to watch. Although you guys know what I do. Like even when I take courses, I'm so bad now that I watch everything on 2 times. I do. I drive David crazy because he cannot even stand it. And you guys, you know how you can cast like from your device to your TV? I couldn't watch my video, my course video last night because when you cast to your TV, you can't double time it. You have to watch it in real time. And I'm like the kid, just I cannot. I can't do it. I'm ruined. I say all that to say you can watch the live replays on double time. And that way you can get through them faster too. So I'm just going around my edges, you guys, making sure that everything is tacked down really well. I don't want to have any issues later. And honestly, these clipboards will probably make it to Whatnot. So I don't want to know whoever buys it. I want them to have like a good product, right? That isn't going to falter down the road. I'm going to put an extra coat of varnish on the back of that because they are clipboards. And the reason why I love doing clipboards so much is because you can hang them in your office space or whatever space. And it's like a little mini piece of art. And then when you're ready to use it, it's completely like functional as a clipboard. So somebody told me that she decoupages, she actually does the pretty part on the back of hers. So I guess like when she's walking around holding her clipboard, everybody can see the pretty stuff. Carolyn says she put them to good use in her. Oh, you won that bid. You put them to good use in your junk journal. Oh, good, Carolyn. I've sold like quite a few pages. I kind of regret it right now. What is the decoupage you're using to seal the paste down? So right now today I'm using a water-based top coat, varnish, clear coat, however you say it. It's basically the same thing. And I'm using that to both adhere and to seal my product. Because this is going to be functional, I want to use a quality like top coat, varnish, so that it's durable. Yeah, Kay. Kay is saying clipboards are so fun to decoupage on. I paint and do a mixed media collage on them too. Absolutely. That's what we did on this one. This is a collage piece. It's decoupage paper and stencils and transfers. And so it's not one design. This is a paintable paper though by Roycycled. So we did paint this one. I love these because all of the shadows and everything are already on the I'll show you guys the paper in a few minutes. So we just went in with a really transparent paint and added some color. And I think it's funny because I did almost the same thing. I sold my clipboard on Whatnot, so I don't have it, but I did it really deep colors in the fall, but they were essentially the same colors. So it was like this really deep kind of a burnt orange color, and the teal was really dark and deep. But it was essentially the same color story, just darker. But we're in spring now. Well, we're not in spring, but I am like, you know, I'm in spring. I'm in Arizona, so I really am in spring. It's cold though right now. It gets down to like 20 at night, and our house just holds the cold. So I wake up freezing every morning. Okay. I think I can set this aside. And I think we're done. I mean, I could keep going, right? I could add some stuff on top of here. I could add transfers, but we're going to keep it simple because all of the good stuff is on this side. Um, and we are just going to decoupage the back. So that is an example of a super simple decoupage for my people who are just starting with decoupage. I don't have this specific paintable, but I call this one paintable bloom. These flowers are smaller, but you guys will notice that all of the shadows and the highlights are already there. So you can just go over it with a transparent paint, like a watercolor, or you can just like add some clear coat or something to your paint. I think that's what we did here. And what it does is you're able to add the color, but all the shadows and stuff are there, so you get to maintain the form of the flower of the artwork. So this is one down, two to go. So we just decoupage that one, and it's all finished. Ouch! That zip tie keeps poking me. This is another one that we did together. Oh man. Oh, I don't need a zip tie. And on this one, it's so hard to show on camera. So on this one, we were demonstrating underpainting. So this paper is actually white, but we painted the clipboard green before we started. And so the color that you see there is actually the green that's coming through. And so I love pink and green. It's my favorite combination. Why does my everything look so dull? Does it look dull to you guys, or is it the lighting fine? I feel like it looks dull, but maybe it's my monitor. And we also did some crackle underneath, which I can see the crackle, but it's really hard to show it on camera. So we did a crackle underneath here, and then we decoupaged on top of it. And then these two roses are transfers that we added over the top. And then our clip was brand new, and that was just we were not gonna, right? We cannot have crackle and all that business and then have a super shiny clip. So we used some milk paint and wax, and we created like this really chippy clip here. And last week we worked on the back of the clip together, remember, to make it look so it's all like everything looks nice and grungy. And I already primed the back of this so we can do something on the back of this one. And again, I don't want to do green again. I feel like the backs should just be simple. So let me see if I can find a piece of this decoupage paper. I think that would be a nice way to accent it, would be to use the same paper, but without the green paint underneath. I probably should have thought all this through before, so we wouldn't have to waste time looking for stuff. But honestly, after like last night and yesterday, I was done. I was toast. So this is the paper that we use, but we just painted green underneath. So that's why it looks green. So then we'll just use this color on the back. Oh, there it is. That's a piece we cut out. So let's see. What do we want on the back? We could do this. That would be nice, right? There's a bee. We have crowns. I like it. Let me. I always like my stamps. So we'll have the crowns go a little bit off edge. And then I'm going to use this piece. So I'm going to rub the edge of this. And this paper is ephemera collage. And you guys will notice how everything is scaled bigger. So with the Topography Love, everything is scaled was to scale, like what you would actually find. This one has a lot of ephemera and topography as well. This is another, to me, another kind of a staple piece, but it's all scaled up, it's all scaled larger. So within the line of Roycycled Decoupage Paper, you really do have options depending on like what your preference is or what project you're working on. So I'm just going to do these two sides because that's where I'm going to trim. I'm trimming this side a little bit generous because I think I might shift that over some more. And whenever I like mark my paper, I always go a little bit past where I need, just in case I didn't mark it right. I like leaving myself just a margin of error. I mean, we've already done one side of the clipboard and we're going to do the other side, and I still have paper left. And these are still big enough to use on smaller projects. Maybe I should have done the butterflies, huh? It's too late. Is it too late? It's a little too little. It's a little too late. I still could. Oh man. Do we do the butterflies or the crowns, you guys? When do the spring papers come out? I will be well, I don't know the word. It just left me. Sunday. Next Sunday during our crafting and chatting, I will be showing you guys the new designs. It's going to be just short right there. Can I do it? The one thing about the misting method, you guys, you know what? Let's do it. We're going to do it. You guys see there's a little bit of white showing right there. I'm going to show you guys something else that happens. When you mist your paper, you actually stretch it. And so we are going to use that to cover that little bitty edge there because I'm just shy of what I need it to be. Have you done any mini clipboards? Yes, Kay, I have. It's funny, when I did my retreat for my retailers a few years ago, I bought like a pack of the mini ones and off of Amazon, and everyone did their own clipboards. It was really fun because they needed them later on in the weekend because we took a field trip to our downtown area. And so, yes, the mini clipboards are fun too. And so I'm going to show you guys. You see, it's just a little too short, like barely, barely, barely too short, right? And I'm going to try and take advantage of the stretch of the paper to see if I can cover that. So I'm going to start on this side. I think. No, we'll start here. It's fine. And my mister is broken. This is not the day for it to be broken, but we're going to make it work. I'm just misting. People often ask what's in here. It's just water is all that's in here. I think this is like broken though. I think I dropped it and I broke something in there. I almost want to go get another mister, but I'm not going to. We are going to make it work. I'll just pick up some water and brush it on there, which is not optimum, but it's okay. I think that probably the biggest strength of being a crafter is our ability to make it work. And I really do need, dang it. This makes it harder to evenly wet the paper, right? I have spots that are really wet and some that are sort of wet, but it's okay. So I'm gonna really so I'm trying to stretch my paper, and it's kind of more important that my paper be evenly wet when I'm trying to stretch it, like intentionally stretch it to cover that mark right there. But I don't want to get it too wet because then I might tear it, right? But you guys can see me kind of hopefully get through this successfully. Okay. So I've stretched it all the way, so much so that the paper is actually hanging off a little bit on that side. So you get like maybe an eighth. I think you can get like maybe an eighth of an inch by stretching your paper. So if you have something you're trying to cover and you don't quite have enough paper, see if you can stretch it out with the misting method to cover your area. And if you're trimming your paper and you're like, every time I trim my paper, it's still bigger than what I needed, it may be that it's stretching when you're using the misting method. And that's why. It's not anything you're doing wrong. The paper is just stretching and responding to the moisture. And then once I tack it down, like it can't come back, right? I'm gonna tear this paper, y'all. Oh Lord. Although I would like to highlight that if this was a napkin, it would be shredded right now, right? And that's one of the benefits of using the heavier tissue paper. Okay. And one of the things I have learned with the misting method is if you start with the misting method, you really want to finish. Like if I switch and try and decoupage this dry, it's going to be a mess because the paper on the bottom has stretched and the paper on the top is shrunken. And so I'll have like creases, right? Because there's going to be difference in sizes basically. So I'm going to have to use my little broken mister. It is not even spraying. Oh. Would you guys be so Kay, that's a really good question. And she's saying, why not wet the clipboard? So when I wet the paper, I give it time for the fibers to relax and to stretch before I start decoupaging. When I put my medium down, I'm already wetting the clipboard. And so when the paper comes into contact with the moisture, it starts stretching, but it's already adhering, right? So that's what causes a problem. So I want to mist the paper so that it can start relaxing before I start sticking it to my surface. I am going to run in the house. I can't believe I don't have another mister out here. And get my other mister because this one it's not functioning at all. So I'll be right back. Chat amongst yourselves. I'll be right back. It'll take me like 2 seconds. I'm going to put my mic right there so I remember it. Oh, Lord, I laid my mic in medium. Hopefully that doesn't stick to me permanently. Okay, I'm back. So I'm going to mist my paper. And you see how like I'm not even touching the paper and it's like chilling out, it's laying down. So that's what I want. And some people say that they don't like the misting method because it doesn't work for them, but it may be that you're rushing, right? Take your time. Let the paper relax because it takes a few seconds for the fibers to respond to the moisture. Look, I have a dry spot right there where there was no medium. If I hadn't looked from the side, that would have been a bubble. So if you look at your surface from the side, you can see where it's shiny and where it's not shiny. And you'll know that that's where you need to lay down more product. And I like to work from one side to the next so that I can push out any air bubbles as I go. I'm not using a lot of pressure, you guys. I'm just basically making sure that I'm pushing out any air bubbles and that I am making sure there's good contact between the paper and the surface. But super light, right? Because I just sprayed the tissue paper. So I don't want to be going over it really aggressively with my brush because then I risk tearing it. I'm going to go right over the back of that and seal it. That looked way more difficult than it is because my freaking mister decided it doesn't want to work anymore. Although I have a feeling it's my fault. I don't remember dropping it though. I don't know why it was broken. It might be fun to paint those butterflies, but not today. We're keeping it simple today. Thank you, Flea. Hey, Debbie. Sorry, you guys. I had to run in the house to go get me a new mister because my one that's out here just decided that it wasn't going to work anymore this morning. So if did I miss any questions? I don't know why it's not letting me scroll up. Let me see. Hey, Kathy. Yes, Flea brought up the retreat. I do have an in-person retreat coming up at the end of April, you guys. We do have a few seats left over, a few seats available left over. So if you're interested in coming and hanging out in person in historic downtown Safford, then you guys should come out. And while this is drying, I'm going to play a video really quickly while this is drying. I need to make a new video. You guys are probably bored with the one I show, aren't you? I'm going to show a quick video. It's less than a minute. And then while this is drying anyways, and then we come back, we can talk about it and I can answer any questions that you guys may have. If you've been craving time just for you, time to create, to breathe, to reconnect with who you are, I want to personally invite you to the 2026 Roycycled Besties Retreat. We're gathering in beautiful downtown Safford, Arizona for 3 days of creativity, connection, and rest. All your creative supplies are provided, breakfast and lunch are taken care of, and you'll even receive exclusive recycled retreat only goodies. We are already over halfway full, so if your heart's been whispering maybe, this is your moment to say yes. Click the link to claim your seat. I would love to meet you here. And that's just a little bit, a few snapshots from last year's retreat, you guys. We had 50 ladies from all over the US and Canada who came together for a weekend of just community and creativity and encouragement. Um, my friend Jane comes and she is so incredible. She really helps us like get in the right like space mentally and emotionally to allow ourselves to enjoy the experience and to step outside of our comfort zone. It's so funny. I've been going through the exit interviews, and so many of you talked about how I made you guys do things that step outside of your comfort zone. But sometimes, in order to grow creatively, like we have, I mean, you have to step out of what you always do, right? In order to grow. And being in the space is really like that. I'm the mad scientist. We're all mad scientists. So my retreat is not um you're not going to sit in a hall and be lectured all day, right? And be taught from the front. You guys are going to be doing some experiments with products either you haven't used before, or even if you've used the products before, I'm probably going to have you using them like off label, right? In ways that you're really not supposed to use them. Not that you're not supposed to use them, but that you wouldn't normally use them. I'll say that because you can use your products however you want to use them, right? Um, oh wow, Carolyn, I think somebody is coming out of New York, somebody else. Because they were posting. I think Carolyn, you posted inside of the group too, right? But thank you for sharing that. So if you're in New York and you're flying out of Saratoga, maybe you can connect with Carol and she has a companion ticket. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty generous too. Um, I was going to say something. Oh, there's two things. So one, I keep forgetting to talk about this, but I have a payment plan available where you can make like three payments to pay for your retreat instead of having to pay for it all at once. But it's only available to the 21st because we're 3 months out from the retreat at this point. So it's three payments. It's only available to the 21st. What is that? Wednesday, I believe. So if you're wanting to make payments, you only have a couple more days to be able to take advantage of that opportunity. And there was something else I was supposed to say too, and I forgot just that quick. I should write stuff down. Oh, one of your kids is coming in from Alaska. I know April seems like it's a busy month. One of the ladies in my membership is actually hosting a retreat that they've been hosting for years that same weekend. So she can't come. And one of my besties, I mean, she is one of my besties. She came last year, and she has people coming in, international folks coming in that weekend. So sometimes it doesn't work. I get it, but and I do a lot of work in our community, and we just live in a small community. So a lot of the people who own businesses here are my friends, and so I hit them all up for coupons too for you guys. So I got to secure my coupons. I'm lagging. I had this done by this time last year, but some of them already approached me that they want to do it. So it's all good. It's a win-win. I'm breaking my own rule. Let's see if it. doesn't pay off. Um, you guys don't do that. Don't go side to side. I mean, you can, but if your paper isn't tacked down really well, it's gonna scooch and it can tear. But I still need to the bakery. So when I say breakfast and lunch for the retreat, you guys, it's not just like I'm not gonna go to Safeway and get pastries and bring them to you guys. That's not the kind of continental breakfast we had. My friend Ruth owns an artisan bakery. She is so talented and she bakes every day. And last year we had scones and we had little quiche that she made, small tarts with quiche in it. Beautiful, beautiful food, not just like, I go to the restaurants here who are cooking, and I know all restaurants cook, but some restaurants they just buy stuff and they deep fry it. And we go to those restaurants. There's no judgment. I get it. But for me, I rather go to the local places that are like really like cooking food, whole food. So the pizza place, Ben makes his pizza dough every morning for his pizza, and he uses really good ingredients. And so those are the restaurants that we're using for the retreat. Um, the Mexican food place, when I go to the grocery store, I see them there shopping. You know, it's a small local restaurants. Um, and it's an opportunity for me to support, right? Local. But And we have a brand new coffee shop, you guys. You guys remember the antique store that was next door to the event space? She has leased out half of her space to the new coffee place. So, like, literally, I'll serve regular coffee, but if you guys want bougie coffee, you'll have to go to the coffee place next door. And he has agreed to create a coffee just for you guys. It's going to be called the Besties. Hey, what's happening, Melissa? I also have to figure out my fly in rental car and drive to Safford. You know what, Karen? Are you in the so some of the ladies carpool, and then we're gonna have to do a pickup because my guest is flying into Phoenix. So, like, as we get closer and we start planning, we'll have a lot more conversations. I got to figure out when Jane is flying in because we may be able to pick up a few people. I have an extra 3 seats. I don't know if we have an extra row in that car. We'll get it figured out though. To get to Safford. I know. I can't wait for you guys to get here either. I am so excited. I don't know if you guys saw my the graphic for this year's retreat. I think it's hilarious. I think it's hilarious. It is 10:57 and we've like literally decoupaged 2 clipboards. Like I don't even know how time goes by so fast. So super cute. This is the same paper, but we painted green under this paper. And under this one, we didn't do an underpainting. So you guys can kind of see the 2 sides to that. I'll do another coat of varnish on this one later. Um, we're going to do one more. We'll decoupage one more, the back of one more clipboard. And then we will meet here again tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we will look at how you can paint your decoupage paper before you decoupage it. About that one. What airport has a small airplane that flies into Stafford? Carolyn, they don't have it anymore. I am so sad. I am so sad. We had like a little bit, it was just a political mayhem around here. The airport, they don't have flights right now. I'm prayerful that they get it back, but they don't have it right now. We're all looking forward to being mad scientists. Exactly, Melissa. Oh, good, Karen. Excellent. We'll be in a different space next year, I think, but it'll still be fabulous, though. It'll actually be closer to the motel. So we have this one. What should we do? This one we use. Oh, that's what I was going to do. So we use the dress form project blocks, and we use one little piece from on the front, but she has a counterpart, and we're going to use her for the back. Let me get the paper. I'm leaning in this chair. I should know better because I've fallen before. Um, yeah. So Carolyn, hopefully, if you're coming, oh no, that's Carolyn. Yeah, it was Phoenix. It was you would fly into Phoenix, and you could catch a small flight. But yeah, we don't have that option anymore. I'm so sad. So we used this light one on this guy, and so now we're going to use the dark version on the back. So this is the project blocks, and there was more stuff down here that we've used for other projects. I love the project blocks because you literally are getting multiple designs in one sheet, and everything is coordinated for you already. So, like if you have a booth space, or even if you like making vignettes in your home, everything is already coordinated for you. So you can use a project block and make several projects, and they'll fit beautifully in the same vignette. So I think this will be fun. We'll have this one on the front and this one on the back. Decide how I'm going to position this. And I'm really trying to put her, I don't want her to be in the middle. Um, so if I have 1/3 here and she's in 2/3, that feels better to me than having her dead center. Yeah. So I'm going to go right to the edge here. And I have all this yummy typography here too. And this is one of those papers. There's so much in the background. There's grunge, and you have some typography and the script. And I'm just going to trim this like this because it's not that big. It'd probably be safer if I did it this way, huh? And I am holding down this paper with my left hand to make sure it doesn't scooch while I'm trimming. Scooch is a technical term, by the way. Oh, yeah, Carolyn, right? So that way, when you walk around now, people can see your art. Not just you, but other people can see it. Um, and you can see it. If somebody snatches your clipboard off your desk and you see him walk around with it, you know right away. Thanks, Deborah. So I'm going to do my anchor row here. Now, this paper is a lot darker and it has a lot more ink on it, right? So if I miss the front, it'll still expand, but it's going to take longer for the water to saturate the paper. So I'm going to miss the back of this paper. Oop, not with that one. I'm going to miss the back of the paper instead of the front, because that ink does act as a resist when you're working with darker designs. And I'll put a link to my Amazon shop. I'll put it in the community section on YouTube, and I'll also put it on my Roycycled Treasures Decoupage page. If you guys, you know what I'll do? I'll send it through my channel. If you guys are on Facebook, you can subscribe to Word on the Street. It's a channel on my thing. That way I can get you guys things. Sometimes when I post on my feed, especially if I'm putting a link, Facebook doesn't notify you. It's kind of irritating. But if you belong to my channel, you'll actually get an alert every time I send something. It's almost like receiving a text. It's kind of cool. So if you subscribe to the channel, then I think I'm going to start doing that. And I'll make sure when we're talking about things during the lives that I use the channel as a way to communicate with you guys to make sure that you get it. Because when I post it on my page, especially if it's a link, Facebook doesn't push it out. So you may not see it on your wall or you may not get an alert that I posted. See, if I put my little lid on my bottle, it probably would not get clogged like that, but I don't even know where it is at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and do this whole board now. Now that I've done my anchor row and I know my paper is oriented the right way, I don't have to be as careful about it. And this orange cup that I'm using is made out of silicone, you guys. It keeps your product for so long. And even when the product dries in there, because I have priors, I leave stuff in there for a long time. You just like squeeze it and it just pops out. And then you can clean it and reuse it over and over and over again. I really do love them a lot. So I'm going to mist the back of my paper. And this is just water is all I have in this misting spray bottle. I was teaching decoupage at my senior center, and one of the ladies was like, "Have you heard of the misting method, Royce?" I just giggled a little bit, just a wee bit. I'm going to say this, and I'm not suggesting in any way, shape, or form that I'm a prophet of any kind. But you know how scripture says, oh Lord, it just left my mind just that quick. Maybe I'm not supposed to share that. A prophet is less, is not honored in his own home. I can't think of the word. But like, if you guys come here, they don't care. They don't care. As a matter of fact, had one lady who's from here, and she followed Mara. And give me the name of Mara's business because it just left my brain like that, and I know it. Retail Therapy with Mara. And Mara and I were in Tennessee one year, and she saw me with Mara, and that's how she learned about me. Even though we live right here. I just think that's hilarious. Oh no. Hey, Lori. Oh, thank you, Beth. Yes. I don't know why I don't utilize the channels more. I'm gonna start though, because then that way you guys get like a little ding. You can if you choose to get an alert of when I post some. It doesn't not every time I post, although some of my posts go and some of them don't. It's weird. But I can definitely send you guys things like reminders just before we go live, or like now I'll send a link to my Amazon store where you guys can find this roll, this silicone roll. And you guys, this silicone roll, like I cut it up and I use it for different things. I use it for a palette, like if I'm mixing paint, because I can just wash it off when I'm done and I can reuse it. Inside of our membership, we did an experiment and I showed my besties how they can use it to repair old documents and be able to use them in your artwork. That was really fun. It's that experiment that's going to lead me to how we can paint our paper. And we're going to be using the silicone mat for that. So I don't just use it like to cover my craft table. I use it for all kinds of stuff. If you're doing resin work, it's awesome because the resin doesn't stick to it. I found I'm using more and more silicone tools just because it allows me to be more sustainable. Even my stir stick, although they charge too much money for those dang stir sticks, but I have some silicone stir sticks. I can just use them and wash them and use them over and over again. The cups, my mats, the cups that I use when I'm doing my resin work, the cups that I mix it and pour it, those are silicone as well. Thank you. Vintage Retail Therapy by Mara. Don't tell Mara, y'all. But I met Mara years ago. Our friend Angela from Dogwood Exchange invited us to come to Tennessee for the 127 sale. By the way, I will be there this year. Angela's having a retreat in July, the end of July, beginning of August. I don't have the dates. It's during the 127 sale though. So that's where I met Mara. And so, anyways, my local person saw me with Mara, and that's how she discovered my channel. Isn't that hilarious? I'm gonna dry this just enough so I can trim it. I feel like this would be really pretty with like one of those gold transfers over the top of it, right? Chris, I just got a roll of the silicone. It's gonna last me for it's like 50, is it 15 feet? It's 15 feet per roll. And Chris, it's gonna last you a long time, but I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna find yourself using it for different things. And so you're gonna use it more than you think, I think. You need to do another chair workshop. I was in the first one. Oh, decoupage this time where we painted the fabric. I was just saying, I have a settee in my warehouse. Oh my gosh, that I need to get painted before the retreat because one of the funnest parts of the retreat was setting up the vignettes. And we had like small vignettes in the room, but I also had like large ones, like where you could take pictures in front of them. And so I want my settee to be in one of the vignettes, but I got to get it painted first. But the first one, like the one in my living room, Karen, oh my gosh, that was the first one when I did the chair. And you guys, I think about that, and it was a long time ago. Sometimes when, oh man, you guys see that? That's what happens when you don't let it dry all the way. See that? It just tore off instead of coming off clean because it's not dry as it should be. But I gotta finish. It's okay. I'll go over with a little ink. Nobody will ever know. Um, I did that in my living room. It was before I had any software or anything fancy. I just streamed into a Facebook group. Um, and I taught that class. And it's interesting because sometimes I see people who are coming in new as like new business owners or new content creators, and they think that they have to have all the things to get started. But look, my first live, I'm not even lying to y'all. I had a hair tie and my phone was strapped to a wine bottle. And that is how I did my very first live. No joke. And you start where you are with what you have, and then you go from there. Because if you're waiting and waiting and waiting to get like the perfect thing, the perfect gadget, the perfect setup, the perfect mount for your phone, the perfect light, I use a lamp in my living room. Then you're just postponing, getting started, which is often the point, right? Our brains think that we're making a decision that's not safe, so it starts giving us a list of things we have to get done before we can start. Mm-mm, just start. It'll be imperfect and you learn along the way. But you'll be further along for it if you start sooner. And I think it's the same for creativity too. Work with what you have, you know, and you keep learning and you move forward. And I know I'm breaking my own rule. I know. Don't do what I do. But I told you guys, once you start decoupaging, though, you won't be like, I give you guys like the best rules to follow, but I always follow them if I'm being honest when I'm working. But I want to ensure that you guys are successful. So that's why I give you guys like the best practices. I'm just going around. I like to flick my edges up. And if it comes up, then I know it's not tacked down really well. But I'm going to show you guys one more thing and then I got to get, because I got to get to the guys are probably already at the warehouse, which is fine. They're packing orders and I'm going to go and do all the shipping. And this year, I'm not going to make it all the way to the post office before I realize they're closed today because I realized yesterday that they're going to be closed today, which kind of messes with my plans a little bit, but it's okay. Today is a celebration of a great, today is about Martin Luther King. We celebrate the day. We celebrate the man, but it really is about more than that. Um, some friends and I were talking the other day. People were being charged poll taxes. So during Jim Crow South, there were a lot of practices that were put in place to discourage Black people from voting. And one of them was a poll tax. So they would actually charge them money basically to vote, which was a huge deal, right? They were charging poll tax in 1968. I was born in 1970. And we were talking about like my direct lineage, my grandmother, my mom, myself. I am the first person in my direct lineage who was born with the ability to go to the polls and to submit a vote without having to do like, crazy stuff like take a test or, you know, pay a tax or even be threatened. I am the first. It's crazy. It hasn't been that long. And so to me, today is just about remembering um, A, how far we've come, B, the sacrifices that were made, not just by Martin Luther King, but by all the people, all of our predecessors, and also about how quickly it can all go away if we do not all um, be conscientious of that and, the decisions that we make. And so while I am saddened that the post office is closed today, I am happy that we are taking time to remember the work of Dr. Martin Luther King. Let's see. Not all decoupage paper is created equal. Roycycled and Decoupage Queen, but recently grabbed another brand because of the picture. It had various thick fibers. Not nice. Oh, I'm sorry, Lori. Yes, Lee. That is why I always vote. I'm gonna always show up at the poll when it's time to vote because I recognize um, what that means. I ended up using 2 pieces of the silicone mat to do a document restoration. Oh, did you do one, Flea? Rather than, oh, wait. Where'd the comment go? Oh, man, hold on. Let's see. Rather than pulling my document up to flip it over, I put a piece of the mat on top. Oh, and then put the first one off the bottom. Oh, that's really, I feel like we should explore this some more. I was thinking about this morning because I've already started prepping for our next session on Wednesday. But I feel like you guys are tired of me going off script because we're supposed to be starting with the gel plate on Wednesday. But I've been watching them washing the documents. And so I kind of want to play with that a little bit. Anyways, sorry, you guys. We're having a conversation. Inside of our membership, we like experiment with all kinds of stuff. All kinds of stuff. It's so much fun. Jim Crow Museum at Ferris State University, Big Rapids, Michigan. I worked there first visit. I was overwhelmed. Yeah, it's a lot. We have the women's suffrage movement in the UK to thank for women being able to vote, right? Isn't that crazy? And it hasn't been that long. Do you guys know that up until like 19 oh, I think it's only been like 30 years that women have been able to like open a freaking bank account on their own? Craziness. It's crazy. Okay. I'm going to go in with my ink dauber and I wanted to talk about this. Sometimes, like this happened right here because I tore my paper because it wasn't dry all the way. But sometimes when you're sanding, especially with the darker papers, you see how there's white right there? And that white can either be the white paint that you did underneath, or it can be because you removed the top layer of the paper where the print was, and that's the paper underneath. But you can just go in with like an ink dauber or even paint. I usually use ink and just go over those edges to get rid of that stark white, because to me that's what stands out. The edges don't have to be necessarily exactly the same as the rest of the piece, although you can use a black ink to make this darker. But just getting rid of the stark white, you see that it's still there, but because it's not like a super stark white, it's less obvious. So that's how I deal with that. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And that's it, you guys. So we've done, I guess that's all we did today. We didn't even have time to get to our piece. But we decoupaged the backs of these. And so now we have these really beautiful, and somebody asked, what do you do with the clamp? I just use a zip tie and I put it through this hole and this hole, and that holds this open while I work on it. And then when I'm done, I can just cut that off, and then it's finished. So this was the front. This one was a mixed media piece. We used some decoupage, some stamp, some transfers to kind of create this design. And then I used the typography love on the back. Simple decoupage today. We didn't do anything fancy. And so like this is all set to go. I do think if you have a booth space that these would sell really well. And all of the ones that I have here, I picked up at thrift stores. Like I'm not paying full price for these. This one, I didn't paint the clip because I felt like it's already worn. It has its own patina and it's beautiful with this piece. This one, we use the dress form project blocks, and this is really only 2 sections that we used, and there's still like a bunch left on that paper. So we have kind of 2 sides of one of the same story, right? Super cute. And we did use milk paint and wax on this clip to make it nice and grungy because it was like brand new and shiny and it didn't go. So now it goes really well with the rest of our clipboard. And then the third one we used ephemera, oh Lord, what's the name of this paper, y'all? Ephemeral masterboard? No. Lord have mercy for Jesus. I don't know how I forgot the name of this one. I'll think of a few minutes. We use the same paper, but on this side, we did an underpainting. We underpainted with green paint, and then we put the paper on top. And because the paper is white, it gets super transparent, so you're able to see the color underneath. And we also used some crackle underneath here as well. And then these are just pieces of transfers that we added afterwards. And we've sealed this really well with the quality top coat, so it's fully functional. We used milk paint and wax to make our clip so it doesn't look brand new and it looks like it goes with the piece. And then today we just went over with the same paper, but we didn't underpaint. And so ephemeral collage, I think is the name of it. We use the same design, right? Because the paper is huge. It's 21 inches by 29, but we just did it on the back and we didn't do any underpainting. And so that's this one. And it's kind of, each one has totally different personalities. So if you're walking around with your clipboard like this, you're going to know, like, that's my clipboard somebody has, right? Or these can be really cool gifts, especially for like teacher appreciation. That could be really good. Let me see. I missed some comments. Today I'm using your small roses papers from Sonnet's Maker's Box and putting them on Christmas trees. Oh, wow, you're working on Christmas? You inspired me to use the crackle. Can't wait to see. I'm going to use the technique you demonstrated a few days ago. Oh, that's so awesome, Carol. I hope you share it, Carolyn. Share your project. I want to see it. We have so many things to be thankful for. Yes, we do. Your projects are fabulous, Royce. Thank you. I'm a furniture painter, but I do need to do more small projects. You inspired me. You know what? I'll tell you a secret. I started off doing furniture. Like when I started, I painted furniture. And when I started taking care of my mom, I didn't have to give her. I had the opportunity, right, to give my mom my crafting space for her bedroom. So I didn't really have a place to paint furniture. So I started doing smalls. But even when I was doing, it's funny, when I was painting furniture, I hated doing smalls. Honest to God, I hated it. Like I would rather just paint a piece of furniture than to do a small. But if you did markets, you know that you can have like 3 or 4 pieces of furniture, but like 70% of your booth needed to be smalls and mediums if you were going to be able to make money that weekend. So I need to get back to furniture. I have a piece right here that's been prepped for like 3 years. I'm going to do it. I even have a plan for it. I just need to, we're going to do it together as soon as I get my new camera mount up so you guys aren't looking at the back of my head the whole time. Oh, you guys are snowed in. I'm so sorry. Oh, I hope you're staying safe and warm. Yes, ephemera collage. Thank you, Lee. So yeah, so this is the same paper. This one is just underpainted with green, and this one is just underpainted with white. So with the really light design, the transparency of the paper actually gives you more design options. It's pretty fun. But that's all I have today, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with me for our daily lives. Tomorrow is going to be super interesting. We're going to be doing a little bit of experimenting. I do not know. Like, I have an idea what's going to happen, but I don't know. We're going to see together. I'm going to do the prep tonight so we can do it and see the results. So I guess I will kind of know, but you guys know. We're going to paint our paintable decoupage paper before we decoupage with it. That's what we're going to do tomorrow. So I hope you guys will join me tomorrow, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I love experimenting. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but I always learn something new. So you guys remember, please make time in your schedules to play, to experiment, to push the boundaries of your products and your processes, because it's in that space where we learn and we grow, because where experimentation happens, creativity follows. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys tomorrow, Lord willing, and you guys have a blessed day.